spirit waver now. The battle is at hand. Fight on with your heart before you. Courage not to stand.
Welcome back to another episode of the Heroes Veritas podcast. I'm your host, Tim Bass, and today we're going to be talking about gratitude. But before I get into that, I did want to throw out a couple announcements. I hope you guys have all been checking out the podcast. Like, subscribe, share. Marcus Torgerson was an amazing guest for us. We also have a couple other guests lined up. Next interview will be dropping after this one. Second announcement that I wanted to make is that there are still some spots open for the May 7th through the 9th Set the Perimeter event. That event is going to be in Northern California from the 7th to the 9th. It's a camping trip. It's just a reason to get away. We'll do some really cool trainings, nothing too crazy, just a few skill development. We'll do a quick hike, come back, have some good food, and then make some good friends and call it a weekend. Hope to see you there. All right, now getting into the topic of gratitude. Now for me, gratitude was something that escaped me for a very long time. I grew up very poor, and I got kind of a chip on my shoulder as a result. And so I started looking at everything very negatively. Oh, why is it happening to me? I have a lot of winter seasons in my life, and those winter seasons seemed to take a little bit more control of me mentally than I'd like. And the reason that I bring up gratitude is because when you look at it from a tactical perspective, when you look at it from a tactical perspective, most people see gratitude as something that is a little too ethereal. And a lot of times as a society, we've also gotten into this position where I feel we as humans like to commiserate. We like to be miserable together. So when we're having a miserable time, we don't want to see other people having a good time. It makes us uncomfortable. So there's this misnomer that gratitude means you're happy-go-lucky and everything goes your way. And you know, you've seen these guys. These are the guys that are at work saying things like living the dream or, you know, another day in paradise. And they put this fake smile on, and it's like all hyperbole. And you can tell it's very disingenuous. And that's the part that we get stuck on. That's the part that we don't like, is that disingenuous false reality narrative of, oh, I'm just so happy to be here. That's not what I'm talking about when I say gratitude. I have my down days. We all have our down days. That is part of the human condition, is to be sad and to be sometimes depressed or sometimes going through some very troubling times. And nobody knows those battles better than you and maybe some close friends if you're lucky. And I say lucky, but really if you've cultivated that kind of friendship, that deep level of relationship with somebody else that you can share those demons with. But when I'm talking about gratitude, I'm talking about being grateful for the opportunities that you have and putting things in perspective so that your whole day isn't ruined by little inconveniences. And so I know myself personally, I didn't really care for that disingenuous person who was like, everything's great and everything's wonderful, life's a paradise. And so because I didn't really resonate with that person, I felt like they were very disconnected from reality and or lying. I almost went the opposite way, and I started, I didn't want to do that. And so I started to complain a little bit more because I never wanted to be seen as that person. So what I did was I realized first and foremost that the tactical advantage of gratitude is threefold. First and foremost, if you're grateful, you really don't sit and dwell in the woe is me pity party space. So you're happier. You take things with stride, and when bad things happen, you have a lot more positive things to kind of counterbalance them. Two, the benefit of being grateful is, from a tactical side, especially for a person, is we no longer hand over our sovereignty of our emotions. We no longer hand over the control of our emotions to the ebbs and flows of the day. And so it allows you to take yourself out of the moment, take yourself out of that emotional turmoil and impact of, oh man, another thing. Oh man, it's really hurt me, or, you know, fuck, why me? Why does it keep fucking happening to me? That's a very explosive emotional response to things. And that typically comes from resentment, that typically comes from expectation. And when you're grateful, you recapture that ability to sit in that moment and really realize it's not that bad. It's not so bad that I have to ruin my entire day for this brief moment in time when things are not going my way. And again, it's a tool set that you have to practice. It's not something that's going to come right away. But the more you think about things as from a gratitude perspective, from an abundance perspective, and realize that you really do not have it that bad, the less often you're going to let your emotions take hold in a negative way. And therefore, being grateful allows you to recapture the control of your emotions, recapture the control of that day and that moment. And 3, it just makes you a much more functional asset to your tribe. Everybody knows the person who is considered a negative Nancy or always has a problem for every solution, and they never want to hear it, and it's just everything's so bad. And so with gratitude, you can actually find that you connect with people a lot deeper, and you're able to be around people at a lot more advantageous level, because you're not looked at as negative. You're looked at the person who's just happy to be included. You're looked at as the person who is there to uplift everybody's spirits. Not in a disingenuous way like the person I mentioned earlier in this episode, but in a very casual, easy to consume, very relatable way where people feel better just being around you. There's a sense of calm and confidence that comes from grace that you start to cultivate when you're grateful, when you can sit in the chaos of a moment and things are going bad, flat tire, it's raining on you and you forgot your raincoat, or, you know, you stubbed your toe, or, you know, you got passed over for a promotion at work. Whatever the case is, we all have those winter seasons where things just seem to be shitting on us. When you have gratitude, 1, you personally can handle that situation better, but 2, the people that are around you are going to sense that grace, that calmness, that poise that you're going to have, because you are now the master of that impact, right? You're now the controller of that moment as opposed to being the controlled. And so gratitude has this amazing tactical ability that can change not just that moment, but also how we're perceived and how we perceive. And so in order to be completely in control of your emotions, I have found that gratitude is a game changer. It is such a simple thing, and therefore it is oftentimes so overlooked, because in the beginning you're going to feel like you're making shit up. You're going to feel fraudulent. You're going to feel so disconnected because you're going to be trying to connect with stuff that doesn't really make any sense, right? Stub your toe, at least I have a toe. It sounds fucking ridiculous, but it's true, right? Like, you wouldn't stub your toe if you didn't have a toe, and there's people that have missing limbs. So that grace of being able to look at yourself and put yourself in perspective allows you to not feel so personally attacked when just things happen, right? Like, shit happens. Like, that's just the reality of the world. Happenstance, wrong place, wrong time, klutziness, whatever the case is, bad things are going to happen to you. But if you approach it without grace, without gratitude, and you're just doing the Eeyore thing from, I don't know if everybody that listens to this understands the Eeyore reference, but in Winnie the Pooh, a Disney character, Eeyore is a donkey who is depressed and he's sad and everything is bad and everything's going wrong for him, and he just mopes. And we all know an Eeyore, we all know people that do this, but at the end of the day, you don't want to be around that person. So why would you want to be that person? And grace and gratitude can truly shift the game in your favor. So I want to challenge you with an assignment, with a task, with a concept that really, I believe, will really help you in understanding the benefits of gratitude. We've all heard a lot of these before. I'm not coming up with anything new. Morning and night, I want you to record 5 things you're grateful for. Just 5 things. It takes less than 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be crazy things. It doesn't have to be super impactful things. It doesn't even have to be anything that anybody else understands but you. But 5 things in the morning to start your day. This could be on the way to work visually or mentally. This could be on your way to the gym. This could be as you drink your morning coffee. But with these 5 things, you're going to identify 5 basic things that you're grateful for that morning. For me, number 1 for me every morning is I woke up. Tomorrow is never promised. So when I wake up, I am so grateful to just be there on that planet that I saw another sunrise, because there's a lot of people out there that didn't get to see that sunrise. And I hold that very near and dear to my heart because I've seen how quickly life can change. So for me, number 1 is I'm here. 2, 3, 4, and 5, it could be all kinds of things for me. It could be the fact that I get to go to the gym that day, or I have a roof over my head, or I'm drinking coffee that maybe I couldn't have had when I was poor. Just give yourself something small that you can take with you and go, you know what, today's going to be okay. Even being thankful that you can take a moment to be grateful is in itself gratitude, and it will show you that the rest of the day isn't going to melt away if you have those things. Now, from those 5 in the morning that you write, you're going to go through your day. And the day is going to throw everything it can at you, because that's what life does. It throws shit at you, and it tries to set you off your game. We've all been there. And that's okay. If that happens, take a breath, reset, go back to the 5. Be grateful. And then at the end of the day, reassess. Take 5 minutes to sit down before you go to sleep and write 5 more things that you're grateful for. It could be related to that day. It could be another 5 random things. It could be the fact that you made it through the day. But I recommend doing this on writing. There's something that transfers spiritually, I believe, and energy-wise between mind to hand to paper. And also you get the added bonus of being able to go back and look at it. But if you do this on paper, do this for 30 days. Write 5 things you're grateful for in the morning, 5 things you're grateful for at night, and do this for 30 days. And see how your life changes. See how your perspective changes. See how your mind changes, because you're doing a few things here that may be subtle. Obviously, I've expressed the 3 tactical pieces. But the more subtle things is your reticulating activating system, which is your brain's filter for what it wants to absorb and see and show you, is going to slowly shift to stop seeing all the negative and start seeing more of the positive. You're going to be more aware of the good things than you were before. You're going to see more of the good things than you did before. The same way that the minute you think you want to buy a white trucks show up everywhere. Same thing's going to happen with gratitude. Now, you could take it a step further, and you can maybe look at things from a gracious point of what do you have, but also what opportunities does that present? And then you're going to see more opportunities. So do that for 30 days. 5 in the morning, 5 at night, things you're grateful for. And I promise you're going to see a huge shift, some subtle, some not so subtle, in your day-to-day interactions. Now, one more thing before I take off from this podcast, because I do want to keep it relatively short with these more direct conversations that I'm having with you guys. That's how you cultivate gratitude within yourself, within your life. But there's a second part of gratitude and grace that I want to make sure you're aware of too, because a lot of people don't seem to have this. And this is the gratitude of things coming your way that are out of your control or that you didn't ask for. This can be in your tribe, this could be with random strangers, this could be with people. Now, if you're practicing the 5 in the morning and the 5 at night, and you're opening up your mind to grace and gratitude, then you also need to change your vernacular and your rhetoric around when things happen that you need to be grateful for. You need to show appreciation. You need to see the positive in the things that are happening. Now, what I've seen a lot of people do, myself included, that happens is we're so negative, we're so lost in our day, we're so lost in that moment, that negative feeling, that when others show up for us in the only way that they know how, because they're not us, they're not in our brains, they're not in our heart, they don't know what's going on, sometimes we have a tendency to block them out. We have a tendency to attack them out of no recourse of their own. There was no reason for us to attack them, but we do because we feel uncomfortable. So you're doing the 5 in the morning, you're doing the 5 at night, you're rewiring your brain to be more focused towards gratitude. Part of that I want you to focus on is when things occur with other people, say thank you. Appreciate them in your way. It doesn't have to necessarily be thank you. Maybe you reciprocate, right? I do this a lot where people come to me and they ask me for something. You have to understand, I'm grateful for people asking favors of me because in my mind, they are showing me respect because they believe I'm capable. They believe I'm loyal. They believe I'm trustworthy. There's a lot of things that come around when people ask a favor or something of that. So I thank them for that opportunity. I am appreciative that they would come to me. Even if I don't have the bandwidth, maybe I can't do it, I'm not going to blame them for coming and asking me. I'm going to thank them for coming and asking me and then explain to them, hey, I'm a little busy right now. I would love to help and I'm sorry I can't, but I would maybe another time. That's going to open them up to come back to me rather than, I'm really busy. Can't you see I'm busy? Which is a response of an attack that I've seen a lot as well from myself. So you have the 5 things, morning and night. You're rewiring your brain for gratitude. Now take that rewired brain and start showing other people the power of gratitude. I guarantee you your life is going to absolutely change because grace and gratitude changes the environment. How many times have you walked into a room and that room just feels compressed with oppressive energy? You have all these negative people and there's all this tumultuousness to where nobody wants to talk, nobody wants to engage, right? We call it breaking the ice. Well, the reason people can break the ice, the confident men, the men that can assert themselves, 9 times out of 10, it's because they're walking in there with a smile. They're not walking in there going, F everybody, this is stupid. That just adds to that energy. Who's the one that breaks the ice? The guy that goes in there and goes, yo, what's everybody's favorite dessert? I'm starving. Who wants a drink? Rounds on the house. That positivity breaks the ice, not the negativity. So do yourself a favor, 5 in the morning, 5 at night. And when people come to you, seeking guidance, seeking help, or they do something for you, show your appreciation. Take a breath. Don't attack them. Take a breath, stow the ego, say thank you. I'll catch you guys next time on Heroes Veritas podcast. We're going to have a lot of great guests coming up. I've had a lot of phenomenal interviews recently. So if you have been checking us out, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'd love to have you guys here at the Heroes Veritas podcast, and I'll catch you next time. Have a great one.